So Bill O'Reilly has heard about the My Brother's Keeper program that Barack Obama announced this week to help out minority youths in the U.S. And he thinks that giving money to the schools to help them do better in terms of their education is missing the point entirely. He thinks there are other people to blame for the sorry state of Black America. Let's listen to him tell it.
But you have to attack the fundamental disease if you want to cure it. Now, I submit to you that you're going to have to get people like Jay-Z, Kanye West, all of these gangster rappers to knock it off. That's number one.
What I think what these boys need is, they need positive role models, which you said.
Listen to me. You got to get where they live, all right? They idolize these guys with the hats on backwards and the terrible rap lyrics and the drug and all of that. You got to get these guys, and I think President Obama can do it. And you got to put them on TV and the net, and they got to say, knock it off. It's these gangster rappers, it's the athletes, it's the tattoo guys. You got to get them in there to tell these kids that you got to stop the destructive behavior. You're going to wind up in a morgue or in prison.
That's one of the funniest clips I've ever seen, man.
That's right up there.
Yeah, I mean, he started with the Jay-Z.
Okay. No, but you're George Bushing it. It wasn't that like you put ignorance in it. It's contempt.
Yes.
I mean, it's hateful.
He's putting as much racism in the pronunciation of the name as you can pack. Right. Just like
I can't say those.
Yeah.
I can't say it, but I'm going to infer it just in the way I say them. And he's never heard.
Yeah. Just like when I worked at
Jay-Z. But I mean, Jay-Z?
Gangster rapper.
Jay-Z, like this giant philanthropist who is now like...
businessman.
Now like he's part of corporate America, for crying out. Jay-Z might turn into a Republican. He makes so much money. Forbes has Jay-Z's net worth valued at $500 million. $500 million.
What is that? Mostly from cop killing.
So, but Kanye West is a gangster rapper? I was not aware of that. I thought he mainly made music underwater.
He almost said Drake.
But yeah, it's what's getting the kids in trouble is they wear their hats on backwards.
Yeah, that's it.
Maybe they're all catchers.
Totally, yeah.
Maybe.
Right, catchers make great managers. They're going into leadership positions.
Yeah, they're looking up to Carlton Fisk. That's all they're doing.
But out of all those, my favorite was get him to knock it off.
What
does that mean? Knock it off. I love the idea of Obama calling Jay-Z and Kanye West to the White House. It's called you here to just say, cut it out.
Cut it out.
Cut what out? What are you talking about?
Okay. But also, like 40 years ago, if Bill O'Reilly had a show, the same exact thing would have happened. I mean, there's Richard Nixon talking about the silent majority, and back then, same thing. Blacks are lazy, they're shiftless, and they're taking all our money, they're taking all the welfare, the fathers aren't at home, they're cranking out kids, taking advantage of welfare queens, right? And 40 years ago, nobody wore their frickin' hat backwards except Ray Fosse and Johnny Bench.
And
right? There were no gangster
giving blowjobs in the forest.
Right, that's right, yeah. And nobody did.
Fun fact.
Nobody wore their hat backwards, nobody had a tattoo, and there was no gangster rapping. Yeah. It's just the same thing, and it has nothing to do with anything.
The kids today with the hair and the clothes, could you get them to knock it off with the hair and the clothes?
Cut your long hair and stop moving your pelvis.
Why does Elvis have to have his hips like that?
Right,
it's so
Bruce
gross.
Springsteen's dad was like, Jesus, cut your hair, go into the army, shape up, cut it out with the loud music.
He's only mad at black music artists. He's not mad at Ted Nugent for promoting violence and disrespect. He's not mad at, not even mad at the Beastie Boys. Those were white guys. He's just mad at black guys who swear. That's it.
Yeah, and it's easy to get it mixed up, like what decade and what genre of music he's railing against, because he even started to say those rap lyrics.
Yeah!
Like, he's not even sure what he's against anymore.
You're right.
It's your youth with your music and your jeans.
It's just black.
You need to stop
It's just he doesn't like. He's got Valerie Jarrett on that show. She's a representative of Barack Obama. They're both black, and this is his chance to go after black culture. That's right. You tell those blackies.
And his fantasy is to just take their role models, put them up there, and tell them all that they're wrong. They're what's wrong with America.
Yeah, you should dress more like us. You should look more like me. And let me just say, all this does, Valerie Jarrett, who she didn't do well. Right? She just made her. Why are you going on there? So you can be browbeaten by Bill O'Reilly, so you can prop him up at the same time as he gets to disrespect you.
Yeah,
that's all he's doing. You're not bringing information to anybody. All you're doing is validating that Fox News is legitimate.
And what she does in that process is that natural human instinct when you're sitting next to a person who you don't want to be a total dick to because she's not she goes, yeah, it's a valid point you make about role models. They need better role models. Like, so she validates the point that you know she fundamentally disagrees with and think is crazy. And you're exactly right. You can't help it. I mean, it's a giant trick to get them in that chair.
What Bill O'Reilly just did was race baiting, right? That's exactly. And she's just sitting there letting it happen. She doesn't even call it out for what it is. She didn't say, why do you say the same thing about Ted Nugent? Why is it only black rock artists you have a problem with?
What about Eminem?
What about Eminem? What about Miley Cyrus? What about why don't white politicians constantly talk about Eminem and Miley Cyrus?
What about every single rocker that's ever existed? It's a Rolling Stones.
David Bowie with the androgynous sex with whoever. Jesus, the kids. What has David Bowie done to the kids?
How about Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds? How about the Beatles?
Right,
you know what I'm saying? How about all those guys? But they're not a bad influence because O'Reilly listens to them. White people listen to them. They're okay. They're just rocking out, man. They're not like the gangster rapper blacks. And there's one more unspoken thing here that did damage too. Valerie Jarrett's African American, right? And so when she sits there, it's O'Reilly's way of saying to his audience, it's okay. I'm not talking about the good ones like her, right? Look, she's dressed well and she's okay. I'm talking about the gangster rappers and the bad guys. You know what we call them. We have a different word for them, right? And when Valerie Jarrett sits there and goes, it kind of, without speaking, unfortunately, I know she doesn't intend it, validates that way of thinking.
But shouldn't she be smart enough to know that that's what she's doing? For Christ's sake, their whole life is metrics and politics. And she doesn't understand by going on there and being a spineless person that she doesn't stand up to him. She never puts him in his place, and she never even frames the issue in the right way. They don't know that. She doesn't have an advisor. Barack Obama doesn't have an advisor that say, hey, this is probably a bad thing. This is going to look good.
The advisor's Valerie Jarrett.
That's it? Is that the problem? So that's what I don't get. Like, how stupid can you continue to be?
Yeah. So that's what he has to say about black male America. He also has advice for the females, though. So let's go to that.
That's the person they should have. The first lady, an outstanding role model for the young people.
I want you to tell her something from me tonight. Okay. I like the nutrition thing. I like the garden. I think that's all good.
Healthy eating. Let's move.
I want Michelle Obama
exercise.
to come on this program, right here. And I want Michelle Obama to look into that camera and say, you teenage girls, you stop having sex. You stop getting pregnant. This is wrong. I want her to do that right here. Do you think she would?
Just when you thought he couldn't get dumber. Okay, first of all, if you really want to talk to teenage girls, you'd go on the O'Reilly Factor. Because there's approximately 3 of them watching. I told you average age of O'Reilly's audience is 71.
71.
Which teenage girls watching the
And he's
Factor?
talking about teenage black girls.
Yeah.
There might not be one.
It might be none.
Yeah.
It could be zero.
No, but think about it, though. If she had gone on his program a good number of years ago, Bristol Palin might not have gotten knocked up. We missed a huge opportunity.
But by far the dumbest part of that is, go look the camera in the eye and say, cut it out. Okay, all of you teenagers with all your hormones, stop having sex. Because if the first lady did that, it would be solved.
Yeah, because
then your DNA
told them not to fuck.
your DNA would cease to work, and then all of a sudden you're like, okay, thank you for deprogramming me with what God put into my genes. I won't have sex anymore.
She kind of called out these trying to get ratings without saying you're trying to get ratings because she can't say it. That's the thing. That's the only thing that was missing was the direct. I see what you're trying to do here, Bill, but we're doing just fine.
But by the way, also, it's not why I didn't like that part, and I knew of that part, was that she didn't say, she's like doing it person to person is better. No, going on TV is better, and we know you guys think that. Because you buy television ads during a campaign. Try and meet every voter.
She could have also asked him, you're right, the teen pregnancy can ruin lives, so I imagine you're all for condoms being available to teenagers, birth control, Plan B, and all of those things. No? Okay. Well, then you don't really care about teen pregnancy very much.
So again, she didn't say that. She doesn't say any of this stuff, yet she's his top advisor, and she has nobody. So why does she go on there? And
she's a great emailer.
Yeah.
In person, she's got nothing.
Why does she go on there, Cenk?
Because in Washington, they're absolutely convinced that you have to reach Fox News' audience. The reality is, of course, course you don't have to. Why do you have to reach average age of 71 years old? Like, what are they going to do? Is there a lot of black teenagers that would participate in this program that are listening to the O'Reilly Factor? They probably think, well, maybe we reach some business interests that will then participate in this program. I can't find a demographic less likely to participate in My Brother's Keeper than O'Reilly's audience. I mean, it is just an absolute fool's errand, and as Jimmy points out, counterproductive to go on there. But in Washington groupthink, they think that Fox News is super important, super relevant, and that you must participate in it.
I think they missed the macro issue of it. You almost can hear, Cenk, the meeting that it would have been. Like, we'll go out, we'll go on the morning shows, we'll do Jon Stewart, we'll do all these things. And then somebody goes, yeah, we should do Fox because we don't want to, we'll just do one interview with Fox and we'll make it seem like we're trying to reach everybody. And like, if in a world where none of this stuff ever lived forever, that might be fine. 25 years ago, it might have been fine. But what it does is create this, it does two things. One, it creates the perception that this is all inauthentic because it's this nonsense conversation with people who don't agree and will never agree. And it gives credence to their set of beliefs. Like this, that's a reasonable point of view to have. And I don't think they ever look at because they can't look at it. That part of the conversation must not exist in that meeting, and you would think it would exist. We're not that much smart.
Maybe they want to give them a chance.
I just said we're not that much smart.
No.
Indicating that we're not smart at all.
Yeah, look, I would have handled it in a billion ways that were differently. I would have kept Van Jones in the administration for the last 3 years, and then I would have sent Van Jones to go talk to Bill O'Reilly, and I would have told him, hey, listen, don't take any shit from that guy, okay? You straighten him out and say, hey, listen, look, part of what put these guys in this hole was that Republicans refused to, provide the same opportunities in local school districts, for example, right? Refuse to provide funding for higher education. You want to talk about equality of opportunity that you're always talking about, Bill? Well, I challenge you on this program to look into the camera and say, I will support programs that give black kids just as much of a chance as white kids by doing X, Y, and Z and give specific programs.
And then live with the repercussions of whatever Van Jones said when he gets vilified the next day.
Right.
Right.
Of course. Compromise, fire him.
Right.